Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our call-in show for Sunday mornings. This is number 21 for this Sunday, December 26th, 2021, the day after Christmas. And we are here to talk a little bit about the sport of boxing. Whatever may be on your mind, we could talk a little bit about the fight cards that took place last night, what may be on the horizon, what we're looking forward to in 2022, and we're gonna lay it all out for this morning. It's the last call-in show of 2021 because next year it'll be New Year's Day when we come back next week. So I'm excited that we have had a chance to end 2021 on a high note because we were highly entertained with boxing in the fourth quarter of the year after C-19 had taken a hold of the sport from late last year, 2020, through the early portions and midsummer portion of this year. So boxing was able to bounce back like a true champion, rising from the inevitable 10 count, and we've seen it come back. So we're hoping for better things in 2022 as we look ahead in the sport. I want to say welcome to everybody that's out there. I know a few people were trying to bounce in and out because I didn't start at my normal time on the half hour. It's because I had to restart my laptop. I'm using my old laptop for this morning's show. Should have just went on and used the new one, but I'm still transferring files. So forgive me for the delay. That's on me. But for those of you who decided to stick around, welcome again. I see we got King Jr. is out there. He's saying salute Stormy B-Man in chat. 704 Joe is out there saying, Sensei, I'm at the door of the temple, the Shaolin temple. Let me in. And then we got my man Drew Titan LLC out there saying, yo, salute to you, Drew. And Mr. Pads is back saying, Coma está Stormy. Man, don't come in here talking like that to me because I welcome and embrace it, but you can't expect me to speak the same thing back to you, okay? Because I'm in Negro Omnics, you know what I mean? Not Ebonics. So just let that be said. And my man Boxing and Barbecue is back saying, Stormy, what's good with you, man? I'm good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Mr. Paz is saying, was the Spider-Man movie one of the best superhero movies you've ever seen? No, it was not. But it was very entertaining and highly entertaining from the perspective of a Spider-Man film. They did a good job. MPWTF is out there saying, salute Sensei and chat family. Salute to you. Happy holidays to you all that I haven't had a chance to greet with that. And I hope that this has been a tremendous holiday for those who were able to be with family and near and dear ones. Hey, man, I want to say I was on a social media site and I saw this hilarious video of these kids. They were in their bedroom sleep. I guess it's Christmas night or they're waiting for Christmas Day. And the Grinch was coming through their window to take their belongings and everything. And the kids woke up and they saw the Grinch coming through the window and they were screaming bloody murder, man. They were screaming and shouting and screaming and yelling. And as he was gathering their things, he started going after them. They were on the bed and they were kicking and screaming. Dude, I almost lost my stomach insides laughing so hard at that video. Now, some people said, oh, that was wrong to scare those kids like that. But I say, hell no, it wasn't wrong. That was a good video. I enjoyed it. I must have watched it about 4 or 5 times, man. It had me on the floor. So if any of you guys got some bad kids, bad grandkids, or know a neighbor that got bad grandkids, you need to show them that Christmas video, man. It is so hilarious. I enjoyed it to the fullest. Whoever made that video, shout out to you guys, man. That was very creative. And the kids weren't in on the joke. The Grinch came through the window wearing a Santa Claus suit. And he started taking their goodies. And they were screaming and wasn't nobody coming to help. I loved it, man. Whoever did that video, shout out to you guys. It was very creative. And I hope it makes the, it makes the circuit for holiday season, because that was very creative, man. I'm going to go back and watch it again a couple more times today. Found that to be very funny. And for all you bad kids out there, that's what y'all get. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Grinch will steal Christmas from you. That's right. And who we got out here? Mr. Gumbo out there in that super chat saying, tell the truth, Stormybman. You was fixing those broken keys on your piano. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Gumbo. You're going to have to fix them broken keys that they call bridges hanging across them gums if you keep on messing with Stormybman, huh? Because I got some steel-toed Timbs, and I'm sure Drew Titan, if he's still out there, he can tell you what them Timbs do, huh? And I'll show you what they do. That's right. Mr. Pass says, Stormy, I used to scare a lot of kids on Halloween. I used to dress up as Death with my scythe, and a few of them cried. Yeah, man. Listen, it's nothing more fun than scaring kids, right? Scaring, because they bad, man. I don't care whose kids you talking about. When they get out of sight of the parents and grandparents, and sometimes right in front of the sight of the parents and grandparents, they show up and show out, don't they? So, yeah. You have to get them back, and get them back real good. I scared a kid one time so bad, he boo-boo on himself. Yeah, badge of honor. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you, we can talk about these kind of things and more, because that's what the call-in show is for, man. We here to entertain and make the most of what we can do out here. You know what I'm saying? So welcome everybody. I know that there's a few brothers out here trying to, make a show this morning, and that's okay, because that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to provide this for you all. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with trying to do our best, huh? I'm trying to get I don't know what is going on with my little setup this morning, because you guys, you seeing my, you're looking directly at my, my little pre-screen there, but I'm trying to make some adjustments for everything else before I change it up on you a little bit. So yeah, we here now, but welcome. Jose Diaz is out there saying, oh, what you saying, oh, about? Me kicking Mr. Gumbo in his gums? Or you talking about me and the kids? Then he says, I wish they would have scared the brakes off me when I was young, to be honest with you. Man, you just happen to be in the wrong environment, bro. Because I'm going to tell you, you could never tell what was going to happen around where I was from. You could never tell. You had to be on guard. So Stormy, even as a little one, was like this all the time, like checking out surveying the landscape, because you never know when you have to throw down. I'm going to tell you, man. 704 Joe is out there saying, people, so politically correct. My uncles used to scare the out of me. It's okay to build family bonds. Yeah, man. You do that stuff, man, and it's fun at the end of the day. It's fun. Some things can be embarrassing, but some are just burned into your memories for life. Some people might call it scarring, but hey, it's okay. Scars and wounds heal. Mr. Pass says, Stormy, I dislike people that go to the cinema to watch horror movies and loudly state how the movie is not scary at all. those people are always the first ones to pee their pants after a jump scare. Of course, man. You know, that they call that whistling in the graveyard. You know what I mean? I ain't scared. And then boo-boo trails can follow them to their house. You say, Andrew Gray is out there saying peace. Jose Diaz says Latin parents are too nice. No, man, you know what? I'm going to say this. One thing I'm jealous of the Latin families, Jose Diaz, y'all mothers and stuff and dads, they love y'all when y'all 30, 40, 50 years old, just like they did when you was 2, 3, 4, and 5, man. It's like that love never stops in y'all family, man. It's like the moms still care for the sons like they still they little bitty boys and stuff, and the dads are, you know, the daughters can do no wrong or whatever, dress them up as little bitty girls in them dresses that's too much for them little bitty girls, but they still see them as their little darlings. I'm like, man, in the black family, it don't go down like that. You put a little girl in a dress like that, they gonna be like, what you trying to do? What you trying to say? What you trying to turn her into? You know, all type of pre-suggestive thoughts and everything, right? And for the boys, man, it's like, you ain't got no job yet? N-word, you better get your butt out there and get you a job. Talking about, will I help you get a car? You better pay for your own. It's like, it's a total culture difference there, man. I don't know. Maybe we should cross those up a little bit and mix them up and make for a different type of family dynamic, man. Because I'm going to tell you, y'all get away with a lot, man. That's probably why you're so damn bad in other areas with messing with folks and stuff. Because it's like, y'all will love each other to death. It's just you give everybody else hell. It's like, that's what it is, man. Jose says, fact, they check us all the time, every day, and I live 4 hours from, hey, man. But you know what? That is truly a wonderful thing. More people should be like that. You know, maybe it would make the world a better place. But, man, Latin parents ain't no joke when they come to their kids, boy. If your mom could pick you up at 45 in her arms and hold her like her little baby was when she was little, she would do it, huh? My mom be like, pick me up and take me down these stairs or something. It's like, it's totally different, man. I'm telling you, I know, man. I pay attention. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, welcome everybody out there, man. I know I got started a little late today, but I'm gonna go ahead and open up the lines for those who might like to call in today and start, you know, talking a little bit what's on your mind and everything. So I'll open that up for you guys. And if someone chooses to call in, please do so. You know, I'm going to do a test alert here to make sure, since I restarted my computer, that the super chat notifications and everything come through, because I didn't hear Mr. Gumbo's come through like it was supposed to. And before I had to restart the computer, I had ran that test and it was working fine. So probably just have to do a refresher and get that going. So I'll do that right now. So you guys will see the Stormy do a test chat. See how that runs. Sometimes it takes a minute. That's the thing about when you run all your tests and everything before you get started, and everything be fine and cool. Then you have to restart the computer, and then everything is got to be refreshed and all of that. Let's see here. I don't know, man. It's just a big old headache sometimes, I tell you. Once I finish transferring my files over to my other laptop, then this will be a moot issue, And I'm sure I'll run into new issues once I do that. So, it is what it is, I guess they say. So even the testing is not working. Well, whatever. I can still see it if it pops up on the screen. And we can go ahead and start fielding these calls. Anybody want to call in? Tell me what's on your mind. Wish Stormybman a happy holidays or something like that. You know what I mean? Oh, boy. I tell you. Let's see these people. Everything is set up, everybody. So if you want to call on in, go ahead and do your thing. Yahweh is out there. I see you. He says salute. Dwayne Jones is saying bless up from the mighty ATL. Opulent LD is out there saying salute. And 704 Joe says, my uncle kicked my ass once. You know I need it. You know what? I needed it. Granny told me to empty the trash. I act like I didn't hear her. I got that old school ass whooping. Yes, sir. Those are the only kind to get. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here we go. I think we got... Okay, good morning. Happy holidays. I guess we got the phone man in the house. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, what's up, Stormy? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Same to you, man. How you doing? How was your holiday?
It was pretty good. I had a good holiday. How about you?
Mine wasn't, the best I could ask for, but I'm still here and my health is holding on. And I respect that, and that's what I could say. You know what I mean? That's what I can say, because it could be a lot worse, believe me.
Yeah. So, what's the topic that I can chime into today?
Whatever you like, man, because this is one of those kind of days that we could cover whatever, man, because it's just a pleasant feeling to be able to make it to the end of the year like this. I myself saw another birthday this month, and it's a milestone. And listen, I'm just taking it as it comes. Everything is gravy and a blessing to me. So whatever you like to open up with, man, let's roll.
All right. Well, the first topic that I wanted to dive into was the PBC fight card. If you watched it last night with Joey Spencer, Vito Manecki, and the rematch with Rajon Chance and Elon De Jesus.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah. Well, for the first fight, for Joey Spencer and that other guy, I think he was that Mexican fighter. I thought Joey did okay. He kind of looked like the same fighter from his last fight against James Martin. He is very good at landing power shots, but I think as far as his skill set goes, he might need to be with high quality level trainers in the future, and maybe he'll have some success at 154. It's just that something about his style just makes me feel like he's going to get outgunned by somebody in the future, and same thing with Vito. He had a decent fight against a veteran in Delomba, and I thought Vito didn't do anything different. He just kind of tried to go in there with aggression, and he utilized what he could, but at the end of the day, Delomba, he was just there to just get beat up and survive, and he was setting Vito with some flush shots, but Vito got the job done, and he got a TKO stoppage. And the other fight, the Elon and Rajon Chance fight, I thought that fight was I thought like the fight was Elon's fight to win, and Chance, he did a lot of holding in the second fight, and I thought Elon got robbed in the decision. I thought like Rajon got outboxed in the later rounds, and Elon did what he had to do, but I just didn't agree with what the third judge scorecard, knowing that it was a split decision victory for Rajon, for the third judge scoring it 59-55. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as like my thoughts. I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, we did do a post-fight last night where we went over the card, Reggie and I, and because both of us were originally like, we don't even know if we want to watch this card, but we did. We both did, and then we did a post-fight, which I'm glad we did that because it really wraps up the year for us and everything, and I'm proud to finish the year out like that and not left something on the table. But let's get to this the Chance fight against De Jesus. Listen, man, and I stated this last night, he did not win that fight. He could have got another draw out of it or a decision loss, but that was not a victory by him. He did absolutely nothing to secure a victory for himself under the circumstances that fight saw him. He did too much posing and posturing and mugging to the audience and stuff like that, and even mugging and talking to De Jesus, but not letting his hands go. He looked to be the guy who could have been the better boxer, but he didn't have the activity to back that up. When he would throw his shots, he looked pretty good, but he didn't follow up. He didn't do the things that he needed to do to outpoint his opponent. Now, his opponent was aggressive, and even in the clinches was punching him, and catching him clean and solid because he wasn't protecting himself on the inside. Chance wasn't with those clinches and everything. He kept leaving the other guy's arms free where he could, knock him upside the head, which is what he's supposed to do. And the rule is protect yourself at all times, which he wasn't doing. The judges' scorecards, we spoke about it last night. We were saying that this is one of the things that has to absolutely stop in boxing. Guys should not be awarded victories when they did not win. When they did not, I don't care if you fight for PBC. I don't care if you're the guy and the other guy is the opponent. If the other fighter outpoints you, out-aggresses you, outsmarts you, outthinks you in the ring, and then his level of activity is more effective than yours, you lose. I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with going home on Christmas with a loss, because you have not only embarrassed yourself, but you've embarrassed your family and whatever else you represent. So now you got to go back to the drawing board. And guess what? You might get more serious about your craft, and you might decide to come out and not be that guy ever again. That's the lesson you're supposed to learn in life. But by awarding these guys these undeserved victories, what you see is what it has become in our everyday lives. How many people have you seen being given par gras because they just participated, or they were just a part of the situation, and because they made it through, someone pats them on the back and say, "Good job, you're a winner." No, you're not a winner until you overcome and you achieve. He did not overcome or achieve last night. And when you look at how he fought, Rajon was in the last round. His dad was telling him before the bell rang, he was like, you need to go out there, you need to win this round, you need to do this, he was giving him his instructions. He went out and did absolutely nothing that his dad was suggesting to ensure victory. So why was he awarded one? Why? This is the kind of thing that really hurts the sport. It does. And had DeJesus come out with the victory like he should have, he could have gone home and celebrated and everything and come out even extra motivated for a next time out. I'm sorry. I have to call it like it is. He did not win that fight last night. And he should be made to fight this guy again. And when you see those type of things take place, you should always have disdain for judges who do that, because they're no more than those teachers who are in school who pass guys through just because they don't want to go through another year of them sitting in their class. If he didn't pass, he needs to be sitting right there with the next wave of students that's coming up. He should be left back. This ain't the military. Leave no man behind. This is real life. People get left behind all the time. And it's not always someone external fault. It's their fault for lack of effort, lack of desire, apathy approach to circumstances, thinking that someone should always have to bail them out, thinking that I just need a hand. Can somebody just give me a little push? There are no training wheels in life as an adult. And if you feel that you should be the beneficiary of that, then we have to define you for what you really are. A person that is mentally incapacitated. Yeah, those exist too. And because they closed up a lot of the places that would assist people like that, because they do require assisted living. But you have to call it for what it is. You can't put tape or a Band-Aid on something and then say it's okay. Because nothing more will chew you up and spew you out but the experiences in life. That's just a reality. It's been that way since man has been on this earth. But now you have these people who want to be pacifists and everything and try to, save everybody. You can't save everybody. Everybody ain't gonna make it. Why you think they have, you see an accident at one of these concerts and stuff, stages fall and people get pressed and people die and everything, and some people survive, don't they? Yeah, they survive. But you know what the real reason for them surviving is? To give a difference between those that got separated, that lost their lives, and those that still have them. There's a lesson to be learned from that. The true lesson. Because if everybody go up in smoke, if everybody perish, then you have no one to show by example or to lead by example to say, hey, this is what happened. I was there, and let me tell you, blah, 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 blah. You see? But people don't want to hear that. They really don't. And I'm not trying to sound harsh. I'm speaking the realities of life. So hell no. Rajon did not win that fight. And he gonna lose to somebody better. Because he's not challenging himself to be better. He seemed more interested in posing and posturing and mugging to that kid, Lil B-Hop, outside the ring, who obviously is a friend of his. They communicating, but he in the middle of a fight. He need his ass whooped. And the things that I'm saying right now, his dad should be saying to him. Not because he's his boxing coach, because he's his freaking dad. Teach him something. Now, about Joey Spence. Spencer, this kid, man, let me say, you don't play boxing, man. And he seems to be a guy that's very happy with being a popular kid from an ethnic community and things of that nature. And he's out there, he can say, yeah, I box. I'm a boxer, you know. But who you boxing, Spencer? Huh, Joey? Who you boxing? Huh? The real guys would have done away with this guy you fought lickety split. I can tell he don't bust his ass in the gym. I can tell he don't run the miles he need to run. I could tell he don't spar the quality of opposition with the proper intensity that it requires to raise your game in the gym. I could tell these things already when I look at him. You don't play boxing. And if you want to try to doubt what I'm saying, take your ass out there and start fighting some real fighters. Not these, as Mr. T say, them setups. Huh? Fight some real damn fighters, bro. There's probably some guys in your own neighborhood that'll wipe the floor with you. You ain't fooling no damn body. And they hid you on the undercard because of this. You're not even as good as the kid that was in the main event. There is separation. What do you think about that, K-Rod?
No, I definitely agree. I kind of rate Joey's performance just as much as Xander's performance because if you kind of think about it, like, Joey's opponent is pretty much on the same level of Xander's opponents, and every time when I criticize fighters, you know, that I support, I always get that type of weird backlash of, you know, of like these weird fanatics on the internet trying to tell me, oh, well, you don't know boxing, blah, 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 and, you know, like, you just hate like your own people. But it's like, no, that's not true. It's just that I want to see my fighters fight the best, and boxing, you know, to me is a ring of fire sport where you have to, you know, be in there with the top killers to, you know, prove your worth in the sport. And I just want to see, you know, these young fighters, you know, fight each other more often, because it just seems like, you know, like you said in the past, that the old, correct me if I'm wrong, but the old roots of boxing are gone, and a lot of these fighters don't want to get exposed for who they are as a true fighter.
Yeah, I would agree with that hands down. See, it starts with the teaching, K-Rod and listeners out there. Salute to my man, Lost D, Punch Out TV. I see you out there, bro. KP from KC, Dwayne Jones, Bruce Goes. I see you guys. Welcome and happy holidays to you all. The teaching. You see, there were coaches who wouldn't allow you to come into their gym bringing a dress, okay? Wearing pumps, with lipstick in your gym bag instead of boxing gloves and a jock strap, okay? There were coaches. There was a time when you couldn't come into the gym that way. All of these guys are coming into the gym that way right now. And the example of that is the lack of mental preparation, knowing that this is serious. You could get killed out there. You want to do this because you want to prove yourself to be a jock out there to the girls in your community and your fellow friends and brothers out there. You want to show that you're a tough guy. Go get on the football field. Go get on the basketball team. Play some hockey. But you don't play boxing. That's why when you're in there and you're of sub-quality performance, the criticism is more harsh. Because anyone who's over 39 years old has seen good boxing. These guys, these young guys that are out there, like the Joey Spencers, even Milnicki Jr., who was out there in the main event, they're not being brought along the right way. They are so bad that they have to put them in against guys who are twice as bad for them to look good. That's a fact. But we could take it back a couple of generations. Huh? We could take it back. The Johnny Tapias of the world. Huh? The Arturo Gottis of the world. And Mickey Wards. And then you go back yet and still further. And you got the Boom Boom Mancinis and guys like that. Huh? These were real tough guys, real guys. They'll fight with their nose hanging off their face or their ear hanging off the side of their head. That's what those guys were. You think Joey is ready for that? You think Milnicki is ready for that? And the guys that they are facing couldn't be valuable sparring partners to nobody. You know? And you take guys like the Gottis and Wards that I'm talking about. Some of them never really became real world champions. But they could give a world champion the battle of his life if they had the opportunity. That's the difference. In other words, those guys today would be dominant. And it's about what they bring to the table. And then you mesh that with someone who's actually trained them and taught them some things. That raises the level still. These guys out here, they look more like they should be underwear models or something. They don't look like fighters. And I'm not saying you have to physically look like a fighter. I'm talking about the way they perform doesn't look like a fighter to me. Milnicki had a chance to get rid of DeLoma last night easy. But he pity-patted around and everything, and the guy got brave, and he started surviving. Then they take it away from the guy in the 10th round just so Milnicki could have a stoppage on his record. He wasn't going to be able to stop a can from rolling down the street. Okay? And that's what DeLomba was. A can rolling down the street last night. You have to know what you're looking at. And what I was looking at was a card full of underachieving, uneducated fighters. Guys who don't know what the hell a jab is, okay? And I spoke about this last night either. They don't know how to use a jab. And you cannot fight, you cannot win a real fight if you don't know what a jab is. Period. Period. You can't win a fight without a jab. These men, these boys can't pee straight, bro. They hitting all the rim of the toilet and everything and all over the floor, making the restroom nasty. And they'll continue to do that till somebody come in there and kick them in the backside and tell them to knock it the hell off and straighten up and fly right. That's what they need. What else you got, K-Rod?
The final thing that I wanted to ask about was the whole situation with the WBC trying to pretend as if Devin Haney didn't have the WBC belt. They try to basically, correct me if I'm wrong, try to perjurize him by trying to claim to say he's no longer their champion, and they try to pretend to give it to George Kambosos to label him undisputed. I just wanted to get your take on that.
I will talk about Devin Haney because he's a professional fighter out here trying to do the correct things, fight the most quality of opposition, and to prove himself in the sport. That particular sanctioning body of whose belt he happens to hold at this time, who have been so disrespectful to fighters of color, I will no longer mention them, talk about them, because they are a freaking disgrace to the sport. And anyone who supports them, anyone who has reverence or respect for them, to hell with you too. Because if you don't see what's wrong with the sport of boxing, then you are part of the problem in boxing. Devin Haney is a young fighter. He's not the best, but he's actually willing to test himself as a young fighter in the sport who is looking to ascend to higher, loftier goals. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the type of approach most should have. It's not about securing paydays. It's not about trying to acquire material wealth. It's legacy building when it comes to this young man. And you can't do nothing but take your hat off and respect that. But that sanctioning body and organization, I wish they burn in hell for an eternity. That's what I got on that. I didn't hear you. Say what?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna let you finish. Sorry.
I finished. Emphatically.
Yeah, that's about it. I appreciate the phone call.
All right, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you, bro. Talk to you again.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace.
Thank you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year, Stormy.
Same to you, bro. Bye. Thanks. Salute to my man Laws D out there. He says, facts, Stormy, that is what Conor Ben needs to learn. He's got no jab. Yeah, he ain't going to go very far, especially against quality opposition with no jab. Let's see. 704 Joe says, the grit of men in boxing died in the 90s. I'll say it again and again. The DNA of grit has been removed. Yep, that Papa grit is gone. It's been replaced by skinny jeans and guys getting their eyebrows arched and all of that foolishness. Yeah, that's what it's been replaced by. And then you put those guys in boxing gloves and trunks. No wonder the half of them that come out there in their attire like to wear what looks like skirts and no longer boxing trunks. How about that? Don't you know what you looking at? Salute to Duke Todd. He says, salute Stormy B and the family. Salute to you, bro. I'm going to tell it like it is. Running around here with some damn skirts on. Yes, we got 816 in the building. Happy holidays. What's good? Who's calling and what's on your mind?
Stormy, you know it's KP from KC. What's up, G?
What's happening with you, bro? Happy holidays to you.
Oh, man. Same to you, brother. Same thing going on like it did. That's why I didn't even watch that fight last night, man. Pretty predictable what they doing with the kids. They fight a bunch of pansies, can't out on fight. And that's what they do with them, man. Certain guys, they protect them in that manner. And these kids never develop what they need to develop. But that's society of today, though. That's the whole society. That's up and down. You see that everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You know, so the training ain't the same. The fighters ain't gonna be the same. It's been so pussified for so long. These kids don't even know how easy it is for them.
Absolutely.
That's what it is, Stormy.
Absolutely. That's why you just heard me say the difference about, it tells you about who the trainers and the teachers are. Because if it's allowed in their classrooms or if it's allowed in their gym, then that's what's going to overtake their classroom or gym. You should be able to say, hell no, what won't go where you are presiding over, right? Because that's your right. It's your house. Do your kids deserve to have run and rule of thumb in your home? Hell no, they don't. They deserve a shoe in their ass when they get out of line. Huh? Or let them go try fend on their own. Huh?
You don't make the rules. I make the rules.
Thank you. So when you come into my gym, huh? With your dyed out hair, which you can't decide what color you want it to be, huh? With your ass hanging over the top of your pants, huh? With your damn pants is so tight fitting, your legs, you might as well be wearing spandex, huh? You don't deserve to be in my gym. Get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies' boutique is at the end of the block. Don't get it twisted. You are not welcome here. I'm serious. And the thing is, when you drive that message, there will be people who will walk away. Good freaking riddance. But then somebody is going to have the resolve to stick around and be like, I respect this coach. Now I can focus. I can get down to business. And I can learn from him. Yeah. There's a such thing as called separating the wheat from the chaff. Huh? Always has been.
Uh-huh.
There's a thing
always
called rolling
be.
up your sleeves to get ready to work and get the job done. How you gonna do all of that and you don't even know how to dress appropriately? You heard me say it just a moment ago. These guys get in the ring now and they're wearing skirts. They're not wearing boxing trunks. That kid Chance, Rajon, that fought last night, he had a skirt on. When the replay showed him taking that punch under the belt, his skirt flopped up and you saw his jock protector. Dude, knowing that about him, he's a freaking loser. I'm here to tell you that. You don't have to wait and see it. You don't have to wait for it to happen. I'm telling you, he's a loser because he's got the wrong mentality for this sport.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the others that are on that card from last night are losers as well. And the ones who lost on that card last night are not the true losers. Put that in your pipe, puff on it, and then blow the smoke up your own ass, because you will know that if you look under the surface, I'm telling you the truth.
I know what you're saying is true, man. I watch it each and every day. Every time you see these athletes now, it's the same old song and dance, man. A bunch of excuses and a bunch of reasons why they can't do what they signed up to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
The commitment means nothing anymore. There's no level of commitment to anything anymore. It's no longer about what you said you were going to do as a man. It's more so about what you feel like doing. What do you mean what you feel like doing? It's a lot of shit you're supposed to do you don't feel like doing as a man.
100.
You don't get to just jump out of it at times when you feel like doing it. It don't work like that. they have effeminized the boys and turned them into something else. And I sure as hell don't like it. And I ain't with it. Tell you that. I'm not with it, bro. But yep, I feel you, man. I'm riding with you. You know, I got you on that one, man. That's a whole different ball game that we watch it happen in front of our eyes. And a lot of people don't see it. But as it continues to progress, it's almost like, okay, that's prime example. Clarissa Shields is more competitive than some of these guys. That's a damn shame.
Listen, these women champions in boxing today got more than these guys. Okay? They are showing it every outing. They are superior in mindset, in goals, in desire. These guys listen, I just said it when I was talking to K-Rod. You don't play boxing when you have such short-sighted aspirations in the sport. You will find yourself by the wayside before you even knew it. You didn't even know your time had arrived before it's now an afterthought. Yeah.
Yep.
I just spoke about Spencer and Melnecki, that these young kids, they're out there, they don't put in the road work properly, they don't put in the gym training properly, they don't even, you know how you know what I'm saying is true? Go back and look at old film of fighters from different eras. Look at their bodies. Look at their bodies. You could tell when a guy is not in shape by looking at his body. I don't even have to see what he's doing in the gym and tell you that he's not doing the right things. And this is not about musculature. It's not. It's about conditioning. It's about mental conditioning and physical conditioning that are married in the sport of boxing. Because in a basketball game, in a football game, in a hockey game, a baseball game, team sports, you can take time off because you have teammates that can pick up the slack for you. But in boxing, there's no one to call timeout. There's no one to substitute, and it's all on you.
Every bit of it is all on you. You see it every time, man. It's a whole different ball game, man. I tell people all the time, even this crop of welterweights, I don't think could deal with the 90s crop of welterweights. I'm not even going to put them in a conversation with the 80s. I just don't see it.
Oh, yeah, that's a done deal. Salute to my man BFTB Boxing out there. I see you out there, bro. Jay Wayne Citizen as well. Dank Father. I see people popping in the building this morning. Yeah, man, but that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. And see, you need someone to be able to call it for what it is, not to placate matters and approach things with an apathetic mindset where it's okay. We'll let that go. We'll let that pass. Well, you're going to be passed over because all you're going to be is the next piece of turf for someone to walk across to get to where they're going. Yeah.
Yep. You're right, man, but I'm going to drop off and listen to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your call, bro. And again, happy holidays to you and your family, and happy New Year.
Same to you, bro.
All right. Yeah, I'm not going to tap dance around this reality, bro. And it's like we need men to be men again. Huh? There was a time we didn't even talk about alpha male and all of that beta male and female and all of that stuff. It was just men and women and children. That's fucking simple. right. Salute to my brother Junior, the truth in the building. What's good with you, Junior?
Man, it's all good, brother. What's up with it, my brother Stormybman?
Yes, sir. What's happening? Happy holidays to you and your family, bro.
Man, happy holidays to you and your family, man. Man, continue success, man. Continue growth and continue prosperity to you and yours, man. I just wanted to call in this morning. I was checking it out,
Yes,
and you
sir.
know, you on that wavelength. Hey, man, you know that's we lock in step with that. The spirit of competition is gone, and we can talk about boxing because that's what we're talking about. But it's all together, athletics all around the board. The spirit of competition is gone in this new generation. And
Absolutely.
then the problem with it, and it does go back to the coaching and parenting and development and so on and so forth. And what happens is when you, that's not how y'all play. Well, I'm sorry, yelling at my kids or giving instruction. But the problem is when you have coaches or trainers or parents or fathers that require a higher standard or a higher level of operation from their children or their athletes or so on and so forth, they're demonized.
Yeah.
Like people talk a lot of stuff about Showtime Sean Porter, about Kenny Porter, and so on and so forth. But riddle me this: when have you ever seen Showtime Sean Porter in a skirt? You feel me?
You
When
see
have
what
you
I'm
ever
saying?
seen Showtime Sean Porter's pants? When have you ever seen his pants hanging off his behind?
Yep.
You feel me? When have you ever seen him in any of those situations that we talked about? And the only time we've seen him where the optimal level of competition wasn't where his willingness to compete didn't meet his preparation was in his last fight. And that was a fight in which his trainer stopped the fight because his fighter did not do what he needed to do to prepare.
Yeah.
And everybody vilified him.
Yeah.
But that's what you want. That's what you need. And that's what's missing in this sport. Everybody else is trained by, you're trained by a bunch of yes men, bro. You understand what I'm saying? They trained by yes men. They trained by people that just all they want to do is just really truly eat, and the fighter becomes the boss and all that kind of stuff. And you know, dudes being trained by dudes they've been with since amateurs and all that kind of stuff. And I get it and I understand it. But at the end of the day, like you said, I call it as a teacher, bro, as a professor, I call it decorum. Okay,
Yep.
So I have a decorum that's in my classroom in which I'm the instructor. I have a decorum. There is a decorum, and when the decorum is not in order, then we can't proceed. Or if you're coming in and you are causing dysfunction to my decorum in the classroom, you have to leave. You feel me? You will be removed from my classroom because of your lack of conformity to my decorum. And when you have these trainers who no longer have a decorum, or they evacuate the decorum in order to stroke the egos or whatever to stay lock and step with their fighters, things become all misconstrued. You feel me? And I think that Showtime Sean Porter, using him in this example again, he followed his father's decorum until the last fight. You know what I mean? And if we noticed during that build-up time, we saw all this. He was podcasting. We saw him at fights doing his regular commentating and all that kind of stuff. And he went in there and he got his ass whooped. You feel me? Because he had not adhered to his father's decorum. Period. And that's what we need in the sport. And until we get that, these fighters we're going to continue to get what we got. And that is why we see that our sport is being made a mockery of. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we have Jake Paul on YouTube. That's why we have all of these different, all this monkey shit that's going on within the sport of boxing, and they're serving it to us as if it is quality entertainment. You feel me? As if it is quality boxing, and it's not, bro. Period.
Listen, Junior, you said something earlier in your statements that I would like to cook on for just a moment. You and I, because see, you have that indoctrination as being a professor. You can hold court. I do the same, but in a different capacity. When I was in the gym as a trainer and coach, that's where I held court. So you said something about yes men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes men. Now, let's get to the term yes, okay? Because it is important that people understand what yes means in our society. When you are allocating yes, you're giving up something. You're submitting onto something, which is why a person shouldn't give yes so easily. A yes or affirmation from you should be earned. Okay? Like I said, let's cook on that for a minute. Because when you put that to people in a clear manner and help them to understand, then they can realize, if they're smart enough, to relate to the fact that I've been going about things the wrong way. Because my vote has power. Yeah, it don't just apply to boxing. It applies to everything in life. I've said that before. The way that I coached boxing, I gave people tools and weapons to contend and compete in life, not just in this gym, but life is a battle. Everything that you encounter outside of the so-called institution of education, there's a battle. So when you are giving that yes up, you giving yes, that means that you might be co-signing on to something that is really not of your ethics or decorum. But you don't realize it until you've given it up. And once you've given that up, you've allowed how many other things that don't belong in the midst of what you're trying to get accomplished. Because you didn't have discipline to hold the line and say no. Huh? When you didn't have the discipline to say those skinny jeans that my ass flops over the top of, that's not for me. That's not what a man should choose for himself. Huh? Because everybody doing it. It's in fashion. When people were buying Sassoon jeans back in the 80s and everything like that, I wasn't buying them. Huh? These are the things I'm talking about. Just because everybody else is doing it. Remember old saying, and I know, Junior, you old enough to know this, when your mom will tell you, just because everybody else jump off the cliff, you going to jump off the cliff too?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Where's the yes in that? Oh, now you're making it relatable. Where someone can understand, perceive, and conceptualize what you're trying to say. What is the message here? Decorum is everything, bro. And since they've kind of erased the lines of discipline for decorum, you got somebody walking into school with a gun. You got people crossing someone else's property. Trespassing is the word. Trying to come in their house and take things from them. Walking into a grocery store or an ATM to stick someone up, even though there be cameras everywhere nowadays. And we didn't grow up with cameras everywhere, Junior.
We sure didn't.
But people had discipline, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Fools today don't even know, Junior, to put a mask on their face.
That's right.
Because the cameras got recognition for your ID now. Oh, yeah, we saw Mr. Smith on this block on the 25th or whatever, and he was, oh, and then he went here and he went there and he went there. They could track you everywhere you freaking go.
Yes, sir.
You got something called a cell phone right here, your cell phone, and they could track you wherever you are. You idiot. They can come and get you whenever they want. And you said yes to all of this. But when are you going to say no to ignorance?
That's a fact.
When will you say no to ignorance? Because you seem to have it oozing through your pores. And remember, that you put out into the universe, what happens? See, without true mentorship, sheep get gotten by the wolves. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right.
There's a reason that the shepherd and the shepherd's dog keep the sheep in line. Because sheep don't know what the hell they doing. They just doing it. One of the most meek creatures God has put on this earth. But they need protection.
Yep.
And if nobody is here to protect the flock, impeding doom. So that analogy, going back to the sport of boxing, and you heard me, I guess you were listening before you came on, that I talking about these guys out here, they don't even wear boxing trunks anymore. They're wearing skirts, Junior. Skirts!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To me, that's deplorable. I hate it. I can't change the entire thing, but I could talk about it and disgrace them. Maybe they get tired of being disgraced. Maybe somebody it'll hit them hard and be like, you know what? That dude Stormybman talking about me. I'm wearing some boxing trunks, man. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to see what's important. Because if you're going to get your eyebrows arched, wear them feminine pants with your butt out, and you dyeing your hair God knows how many different colors and everything, but you want to suit up and put gloves on, and instead of the trunks, you're going to put that skirt on too. Why shouldn't I treat you as an effeminate person? Why shouldn't I? And why shouldn't I big up these women who are in the sport just across in the women's division, who are performing at a higher level than you, have greater desire than you, showing more skill than you, more guts than you, and are being paid less.
Yep.
And though they speak on it, and they should be required a greater portion of economic strength, they still take it to the max. We have seen just in the past couple of months, women's bouts be far superior in action, ebb and flow, competitive desire and nature than these men. And the men don't even want to face other men. They want to face guys that on paper, yes, they say on paper, I'll kill this guy, so I want him. They don't even want to compete for anything anymore, Julie. Isn't that same project mentality that the person that just want to go to the mailbox for a check from the government or knock you in the head for yours after you come from the bank, your hard 2 weeks of earning your keep, and they want to knock you in the head for that? And they don't want to do anything on their own accord to displace the situation that they find themselves into someplace more lofty, a goal that they've set for themselves, because they don't have the desire for goal. I say this all the time. Everybody ain't gonna make it. And that's not the individual's fault. It's a collective fault. But it starts with that environment of yes, and those who've made all of this acceptable.
Yes, sir. And the funny thing about all of it is that for me, 9 times out of 10, it's to the fighter's detriment. You understand what I'm saying? Anytime I'm signing off on your foolishness, 9 times out of 10, it's to your own detriment. It's to your own desire. And we see countless numbers of times, we see countless numbers of instances where we see fighters who meet that just exact fate. And then meanwhile, like I said, once again, you have fighters who have coaches that demand better, i.e. Kenny Porter, and he demands certain decorum, and he demands certain things from his fighter, and they go on to have a total different life. You know what I mean? Now, is it flashy? No. Is it fly? No. When you go in and you go into the gym, are they going to be listening to trap music, or are they going to be listening to Frankie Beverly and Maze? Chances are they're going to be listening to Frankie Beverly and Maze. Chances are you're going to be hearing some old school Zach and Roger Troutman. You feel me? But that's the decorum. Yeah. And that decorum transitions into their life. And for me, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go, man, but for me, one of the best things that I've ever been able to do and I've ever been able to accomplish as an educator is to give my pupils things that they can practically apply to their life, which is exactly what you were speaking on. I have to give you something, no matter what this subject matter is. We could be talking about leadership, we could be talking about sociology, we could be talking about whatever. We could be talking about world history. But as an instructor and as an educator, more so than that, because I'm an educator, which supersedes instruction, I am charged with the responsibility as a man and as an educator to give you something that you can practically apply to your life and that it can pay dividends to your success. And that is the thing that is really truly missing from the sport of boxing. It's missing in these gyms. Before we get to the gyms, it's missing in these homes. It's missing in the gyms. It's missing in the boardrooms. It's missing in these meeting rooms. It's missing at these networks. It's missing in the arenas. Like, that is something that is really truly missing. And until we're able to really truly get that and really truly captivate that, that's what we're going to see. And kudos to the women. Kudos to the women. Women boxing is so competitive right now. We're seeing undisputed matchups. We're seeing unification bouts. We're seeing so many championship caliber fights. And the women, in my opinion, are successful are greater in their willingness to compete more. They're greater in their practical application of their skill sets. They're superior in their dedication to the sport. They're superior in their preparation for the sport, period. And so salute to them, salute to all of the women. I'm not even going to single anybody out. Y'all know Clarissa Shields is my favorite. Alicia Baumgartner's from Ohio. Y'all know I love all of them. But and the one thing that really truly troubles me, I'm going to say this, is we have fighters like Jessica McCaskill from Chicago, salute to Chicago, she was a banker just a year ago, I believe it was. She wasn't even a full-time boxer and became the undisputed welterweight champion, women's champion of the world. I'm gonna need a parade for her.
Isn't that?
She was a banker.
Isn't that something that is truly something special? Her story is like Deontay's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in which she went from one place to another and ascended like nobody expected. And see, that's what this sport can do for someone who has the right type of character makeup.
Fact.
That's what that is. You can be talented and flop all day long, but you can be spirited and go from ground zero to the heavens.
Yep.
And everybody that watched the transition in between have no idea how it happened because they don't understand the conceptualization of what you just said and how it's brought together. They don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I wanted to say this about when you were talking about Kenny Porter and his impact on Sean's career and everything. For those out here that want to be critical of Kenny Porter and how he helped Sean become who he has been in the sport, and Sean will be in the Hall of Fame. But for those out there, let's ask those who are highly critical of Kenny and Sean Jr., where the hell are their dads at?
Facts. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just for those who are so highly critical, let us know where your dads are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll wait. Yeah.
Yep. I smell daddy issues.
There you go.
I smell daddy issues. I appreciate it, my brother Stormybman. I got nothing but love in my heart for you, man. I'm gone. Salute to you, man. Happy New Year to you. If I don't get to talk to you, salute to the chat, man, and keep on cooking, bro.
And thank you, man. Thank you for your support and everything and calling in, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
Yes, sir. That was Junior the Truth, man. And he came in with truth. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's funny. We had this show for today, and I said it would be open, and it has been open. It's been wide open to the point that we've been able to get some great subjects to be covered. And that's what it's all about, man. To have a forum where we can engage in conversation. It's rooted in boxing, but it expands far beyond the sport of boxing. Because the sport of boxing is like life mirrored, but shrunken down, minuscule. You know, it's like the very things you deal with in life it happens in a boxing match. It's like the analogy is there. We got people out here engaging in conversation in the chat. Oh boy. Ratchet since 1991 says all facts. Talking about what Junior had to say. Offstring says it's not her skill, it's her relentlessness to attack that won her those fights. Offstring, you're looking at it from a very small perspective, almost like looking through a keyhole. The thing is to take away everything that's around the keyhole to open it up so your vision is greater. Relentlessness alone be not the key. You know, Bruce Lee once said that if you're in a fight with someone, a street fight, and their objective is to bite your nose off, chances are they'll succeed because they have something that the opponent has no knowledge of, and that is what their initial personal desire is. So if you don't know that the person is planning to bite your nose off, all he has to do is get close or within range to execute their plan, which you have no knowledge of. And you may want them to get close to you because you want to lay hands on them. See how you can fall into the sea and get swallowed by sharks? Salute to 732 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? And happy holidays to you.
What's going on, Stormy Beast? Happy holidays to you. It's Off Strength.
Off Strength, what's good?
Hey, what's going on, man? You just called me out for my comment on McCaskill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, from the fights I've seen of her, that's all I see. I just see a girl who's just willing to put it on the line and just come forward and just try to get the girl out of there. That's what I see when I see her. I don't see no skill, really. And honestly, that's what I think all you need to beat a lot of women. Because if you just come out and dog a girl, a lot of them are just going to turn their tail and run.
No, I disagree with that because we have seen fighters like take Ebony Bridges, the blonde bomber. I watched her fight and take hellacious punishment, eyes closed shut. And she still walked around in the post-fight, hugging, taking pictures, everything. She didn't put sunglasses on. She wore that as a badge of honor because there is something of substance under the surface that makes that woman, who's quite pretty, a fighter. And so you can't just say it's desire. It's something deeper than that. That's why I spoke about the relentlessness that you mentioned of McCaskill. That's not the all being factor for her. What happened, and I'm going to just crystallize it for you. Junior's talked about it in his phone call. The girl went from being a banker to being a world champion fighter in a little over a year's time. Sometimes in life, we have a calling, and we don't know until we step out into what that particular spotlight might happen to be for us. She did not become who she is as a championship fighter, just being relentless. There's something about character that comes into play, and you mesh character with natural talent and ability, and it fuses, and it can set you on your journey straight away. Just like a person that wakes up on any given day and decides he's going to go do some crime. That was set in them. Not to get up, roll their sleeves up, take it to the max and do the best they can out of life, but to actually cut the corners of life and at someone else's expense commit crime. Yeah. But when you understand the character of human beings, and I've coached boxing long enough to understand that there are 5 character prototypes for a man. And oftentimes you can be a combination of 2, but that makes up the difference. And when you understand those personality traits that people have, you can understand how someone can go from one point to another. That's why you heard in my call with Junior, I mentioned McCaskill being a lot like Wilder. Wilder was a man, took on a couple of jobs. He was trying to make ends meet. Then his daughter had some issues, and he was like, man, I got to do something. I need to take care of my baby. I need money. He found boxing. He didn't find a bank to knock over or a neighbor to knock over. He found something and then found out that he had other talents that married into that and took off, just like McCaskill. Now, do you think Deontay did and accomplished what he accomplished based on relentlessness?
Not entirely, no.
Not at all, bruh. Remember, I used the word a marrying of things that came together. We all have gifts and talents. We do. Some of us don't utilize them at all. Some of us kick them around. But when it's for you and a path is lit and you go down that path, there's what's called a wellspring of fortune that awaits you. But only a mentor can tell you this. If you're too stubborn to receive, the windfall won't be for you. But how many people are trying to get you to understand that? Not many. Most people don't give a damn about you. They don't care about your success or your failure. They're too busy focused on self. But people who change the world, people who make the world a better place to be, they're out there. You're listening to one. It's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. What other purpose does a person have to be on YouTube, social media, December 26th at my time, 12:13 p.m. in the afternoon? See? But there's a lot to be gained, but you have to cipher through the BS.
Yeah. My comment on her, it basically just stems from her fights with Breakus. I don't know if you remember her, the older kid that she dethroned.
Yeah.
And her last fight versus Candy White. And if you caught the fight versus Brockus, that fight was just, you could just tell she was going to beat her. She's younger, quicker, more on the ready to fire the trigger than Breakus. Breakus just looked like she was trying to just keep her off her the whole night. And then the last fight against Candy White, I mean, come on, she was just out there dogging that girl, embarrassing her. So that's where my comment came from. I haven't watched all her fights to know, okay, she got some skills. She's shifty here, shifty there. I know she lost to Katie Taylor. So that's where I kind of just, I didn't shit on her skill, but maybe I just didn't give her enough credibility. But obviously I know she has skill. Otherwise she wouldn't be a championship boxer. I'm just saying her most prominent
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I'm actually from New Jersey. So I see a lot of these people in like gyms around, like Mill Nicky. I know he trains with Rajon Chance. He trains in the same gym as him. Although Joey Spencer, is he from New York? Do you know?
I thought Spencer was from the Midwest, but I don't know.
He might be from the Midwest.
Yeah,
he
I don't
like
have his information in front of me, but that's what I thought, because I know he knows an awful lot about the Kronk Gym.
Oh yeah. I mean, he probably was the most exciting on that card. Would you agree?
No, I thought the most exciting fighter on the card for me last night was Trayvon Marshall.
I didn't catch that fight.
Trayvon Marshall, when I saw him, see, one thing about my eye test, when I watch fighters, I can see certain things and I know right away what I'm looking at. When I saw him last night, I saw a fighter from a previous generation, and I talked about this last night on my post-fight show, that I saw a fighter that I hadn't seen since the middleweights of the late 90s, and that was Keith Holmes, who happens to be former world champion, but he's a southpaw. Marshall reminded me so much of Keith Holmes. It was ridiculous. The boxing skill, the ring generalship, the way he handled himself in there, it was like watching an orthodox Keith Holmes, Reborn. And I'm like, wow, this kid, I was like, and the first thing I started talking about was, why is he fighting these 6-rounders and everything? They should go ahead and put him in there. No, 4-rounders. I'm sorry, he was fighting 4-rounder last night. They should go ahead and put him in 8 or 10 rounders, because he needs to open up. And fighting in those short stretches like that, he's not that type of fighter that he's going to go out there and just blitz guys, because he has boxing skill. He can hit, not be hit. He could trap your punches. He could block and parry. He can shoot every punch that's in the book. He needs room to operate. So now you take him out of those short rounds, put him in longer fights, but against opposition that he could still learn against. That's what I saw last night over everyone else on that card. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. That kid can box, and that's what I like to see headed toward the future. Those are the type of fighters that I look for. Those neighboring guys, those guys that the television networks want to be matinee idols and all of that, that's short-lived. We've seen that before, and it comes and it goes. A lot of times those guys don't even pan out. Do you remember a heavyweight called Joe Messi?
Yeah.
What happened to him? And he was one of those that they were trying to bring along in that same manner. Okay? And what happens is, instead of trying to build somebody like that, how about taking a guy like Marshall and putting him out there and let him swim in the sea? And look how beautiful his strokes are, because he's got talent and ability. A young man, one of 9, 4 brothers and 4 sisters. What a story. See, a lot of times in boxing, the story has already written itself. It's just that you got people who are trying to control the narrative. That's what's bad.
Yeah, I should go back and watch that one. I didn't catch that one. But yeah, man, as a New Jersey native, man, I'm just kind of disappointed in what we put out there. Because being in the gym, you'll see, like, when you, like, on sparring days, if you walk in a random gym, you'll see some skilled guys. You see some guys, doing all the right things, but when they get in the ring, it's like, man. I feel like the only good guy we got right now is Shakur, man. That's the only guy we got right now that could put Jersey on the map, because everybody else is kind of, it's almost like JV versus varsity. It's like Shakur, he's varsity. Everybody else is JV trying to get on the team.
Well, according to my brother Kurt Sugar, who knows about Shakur, because Shakur was a little boy in the gym when Kurt was around there. Kurt said that there were guys better than Shakur. But they just, they weren't on what they needed to be on for the sport. Now, the great thing that I see in Shakur is he wants to be better and he wants to work at the craft. And one of the things he's managed to do for himself is relocate. See, sometimes to get out of a certain environment, if you're really going to do this in order to improve, you need to separate yourself. You need to create some distance. And that's why I feel like Mielnicki and Spencer, they have similar issues. Yeah. If they really want to do this, they need to go where they can really learn this. I'll tell a kid like Mielnicki, I say, why don't you go over to the UK and introduce yourself to that man over there that was the name Calzaghe. Okay? Because he could help you in an opposite manner than a guy like coming from the UK wanting to come to the US. Because he's already had some proper bringing up here from, here and everything. Yeah. But when you go over there and you start talking to Calzaghe and his brother, you begin to introduce yourself to some things that, wow, okay, a different perspective. You see? Spencer is a different story because what I see in him is a lot like what was a part of my initial thoughts in everything regarding a guy like Zab Judah, Yeah. Very popular, local guy. People like, oh, he's like Sweet Pea with power and all of that. I remember all that way back in the day before Zab came really on the scene.
Oh, man.
But he never separated himself from a certain amount of that influence, people pulling at you in different ways and stuff. And it's like he got around the wrong people and everything, and it became a different story for him. But I will always maintain this, and he can hear this. Someone can take it and share it for him or whatever. He was more talented than Floyd Mayweather. But look at the difference in this success. That's all I got to say.
I know a bunch of people would agree with that statement because that fight in the beginning, he was giving them some problems with that hand speed.
But it had nothing to do with the fight. It had everything to do with the mental acumen of Zab Judah and the mental acumen of Floyd Mayweather. And we're not even talking about when they finally faced each other in the ring, because Zab never got past Costa Tszyu, whom he was supposed to whoop Costa Tszyu's ass. Costa Tszyu made his name off of Zab.
Oh, man.
Mental acumen. You can never leave that off the table. And as far as these guys out here, when someone don't want to be straight up with them because they're their dad or they're a good friend or a popular fighter who you just like being around because he was once heavyweight champion of the world and all of that foolishness, you get to the reality of things and you find out, oh, I don't know everything. Oh, this is what life is all about. Oh, that's why I'm supposed to do this. Zab was more talented than Floyd. But talent alone don't cut it, brother.
Yeah, I hear that. All right. Last point before I go. So if any of my New Jersey people, man, y'all need to stop holding so much. Stop trying to look so pretty. Catching and shooting and jabbing and footwork. Sometimes you got to sit there and fight. Sit down on your punches. Stay in that pocket. Stay calm. Man, we got to do better as New Jersey people. Let's bring New Jersey back on the map of boxing. Metro or just pulled away. He's not even in New Jersey. He's training up with Bud somewhere. So y'all can't let him lap you like that. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up.
You know what
Hey, but that's all I got.
What I really didn't like about watching Chance last night was the quiet moments. I call them the moments when he was taking a picture or posing and posturing in front of the opponent.
Exactly.
Dude, those were opportunities to be letting your hands go, specifically the jab. Pop that jab, pump that jab. When you use your jab, you get into a rhythm. It allows you to loosen up to allow other things to happen after the jab. But if you never let it go, you're going to be tense and posturing and feigning and jerking all night long because you're uncertain where the openings are. The jab is what sets up the openings. If you throw 25 jabs in a round to round, what that will do for you, it will give you a blueprint of to where the follow-up shots will land on the opponent. Because you do it enough, it will give you ideas of where he moves, where he puts his hands, where he slips off to, and how he responds to something. So much too that now you learn those movements and you learn where to place your shots. But if you don't let the jab go, that doesn't happen for you. Why do I have to sit on air and say these things, and you have a professional trainer that you pay good to tell you these things, and he doesn't? Fire his ass.
Yeah. I don't even want to keep going on my New Jersey people, but man, his coach is actually his dad, and a lot of these coaches, you know, they're USA boxing certified. You know, they say they go up to the training center and all this. They know the drills and they know all that, but still, that doesn't make you a good coach because you put on the jacket and you know a bunch of drills. It's deeper than that.
I had a USA license. I had one when I was working in the gym with guys regularly. That was in the 90s. I never even, once my license expired, because I wasn't, listen, man, I could go work a professional fighter's corner tomorrow and help him to victory. But the thing about it is, my love of the sport is like this. If I could receive what I'm putting out, I could stick with it. But I didn't receive a lot of what I put out. Because you got a lot of people out here doing things for the wrong reasons. I would never allow a fighter to get beaten up and hurt in a fight. I would never send someone out there ill-equipped for the task at hand. I see these things night and day all the time. Yeah. When I did my post-fight show last night, I, along with Reggie, we talked about this being a night of no jabs. None of the guys on the card were versed in using a jab, which could have made all of their fights much easier. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Stormy, for giving me the room to run, as always.
Yes, sir.
Great show, great topic. I'll be tuning in the background.
All right, man. I appreciate your call. Don't be a stranger, you know. And happy holidays to you and your family, and Happy New Year.
For sure. Same to you. Peace.
All right. Peace. Yes, sir. Great calls today, man. Great calls. What else we got? We can take this a little longer since Stormy got going a little later today. And salute to Junior the Truth for sharing the video, man. I appreciate that, Junior. Much respect. I see Volts out there. Volts UK. He says, salute Stormy and the whole chat. Omega Red has joined us. Who else we got? Boli is out there. He says, Spencer reminds me of that guy with the Subway sponsorship that fought Caleb Plant. Dwayne Jones is out there saying that USA license does not teach you how to train fighters, really. No, it doesn't. it just makes you official that you can, you know, work corners and stuff for the amateurs and the pros and stuff like that. It's like, but that's, you know, again, you know, salute to Tay Brown out there. She's saying, Stormy B-Man, Master Seafood. Salute to you as well. She says, Happy Kwanzaa, everyone. Happy Kwanzaa to you as well, and everyone out there that celebrates Kwanzaa. Yeah, what we got? World Combat Sports was out there as well. He says, hashtag answer the bell. Salute at Stormy B-Man. Happy holidays. Same to you, brother. I was listening to your stream yesterday. 88 Sports Talk as well. Says, salute Stormy B-Man. Boxing and Barbecue asked me, did you ever do a show on those 5 different personalities, Stormy? No, not on the 5 personalities, but I did do a show on the 5-dimensional fighters on my Tuesday Tussle, which is a show worthy enough to still follow that because I mentioned something about the 5 personality types. Remember, you got 5 fingers and 5 toes, 5 senses. Do you see that there's a certain natural cadence there through our Creator? Think about it. And when they talk about you having a 6th sense, where do you think that is? All right, we got 214 in the building. Welcome to the show. Happy holidays to you. What's on your mind and who's calling?
Peace. 704 Joe.
704 Joe, my man. What's good with you, man? Happy holidays, bro.
We having social studies today. Man. I'm loving it, man.
Yes,
I heard
sir.
you speak earlier about you know, situation going back to the, and I always go back to it, the grit of men, the grit of men. You was talking about how our Mexicans, you know, how strong they are with their family. George Foreman even got in trouble for saying it, man, which was crazy. How strong the family is, man. When you meet a Mexican dude about the age of 27, 28, he's married.
Yeah.
He's married. He's married, man. He's
Sometimes
married.
a lot sooner than that.
Oh yeah, I'm pushing it with the 27, but he's married, man. And that family, that bond of that family, man, is everything, man. It's everything, including boxing or whatever you do, man. That family is everything, man. You know, we had our times. You know, in the 80s, you know, we had Prince. You know, in the 50s, we had Little Richard. But it was a balance. You know, you had 2 or 3 dudes walking around like that. Now it's flip-flopped. You know what I mean? Now you got 98% of the people walking around like Little Richard and Prince, man. You know what I mean?
And only a couple of guys that's holding it
Look.
down for humanity.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because I heard you bring up the nation one time, the founder of the nation, Master Farad Muhammad.
Yeah.
And I agree. And it's a controversial statement. I agree. He said in the book, was The Fall of America, he said, black people are going to have to be made what to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. I agree. And I know I get some slack for saying that, but yes, we're going to have to be made what to do because we've been given the blueprint. Elijah gave it to us. Marcus Garvey gave it to us. Malcolm gave it to us. A lot of father gave it to us, and still nothing.
Yeah, man. It makes a difference when a man wants to take control of his own destiny. He wants to take control of his own community, what benefits and what is of disinterest, and take control of his family and things of that nature. And you have to understand that on this soil, men were like that until the invaders came and put things on its end. But the one problem that has stemmed from those circumstances is the victimized have not become unified in order to take back their humanity. And under the influences of current status, some people are comfortable being victimized. That's an illness within itself. It's an illness.
It's funny.
Who embraces being subjugated?
Nobody.
Especially when law and order doesn't serve you, because law was made for you and you are supposed to fall under that order. Yeah. Oh, I can get even deeper with that, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Stormy B, it's sad, we got 15, 16-year-old boys who can't even start a lawnmower. You hear me?
Yeah.
We got 15, 16-year-old boys who don't even want to drive cars. I'm meeting young men who don't even want to drive cars no more. They want to Uber.
They don't want to drive cars, but they'll carjack someone for one and can't drive a car. How about that? How about that? You carjacking a person who go to work every day and work for theirs. You carjack them. You can't drive, and then you crash their car, and then you get arrested. Please help me make sense of it all. First of all, if I couldn't drive, I am not thinking about carjacking anybody.
Yeah.
Because I can't drive.
Right.
It just doesn't. Listen, we are old enough to know these things. They are old enough to have never been taught these things. Think about that.
Right.
Because what they were being taught came from video games, TV, the internet, and what other negative sources that babysat them as they were growing, because they weren't being nurtured. Feeding children oodles of noodles is not a meal. Sitting down doing homework with them is not mentorship. Sending them to the store to get some McDonald's or something like that, that is not helping. Listen, sometimes you got to point the arrow directly at yourself.
Right.
The moment that the law changes, and it won't change because it's only going to affect certain people, but the moment that the law changes where you can be held accountable for your children's misdeeds, that shit'll stop quick, fast, and in a hurry. But because it's only affecting a certain class of individuals, they're going to allow that, because that is further genocide.
Right. Stormy B, I got an assignment for everybody, man, who's listening, who's online right now. We got about 30 people. I have an assignment.
Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody who's online right now, next week, invite one person. That's all I'm asking. Just invite one person.
That's
people
beautiful.
in the chat.
That's beautiful.
At least 100 people in the chat next week or this week or next week. Because, again, Stormy could go the way of the other people with channels. We could be sitting here gossiping about Floyd Mayweather's cars, and his numbers would shoot up. His numbers would shoot up. If we talk about Tank Davis and his baby mama, numbers would shoot up. But this is one of the shows I can come to where we don't have to discuss that. We can discuss boxing, kung fu, social issues. So let's get some numbers up, man. That's all I'm asking. Everybody invite one person. You can invite 2 or 3, but at least one person next week. And I want to see it in the chat.
That'd be beautiful. And listen, when I talk boxing, I still can make it relative to what happens in real life outside the ring. I marry that. I marry it because life is a battle. Life is a fight. Absolutely.
Life is a jam. Life is getting knocked out or knocking somebody out. I agree.
Yep. And
100%.
you have to keep punching. You have to keep pressing forward.
No excuses. No excuses.
As Mickey said in Rocky, I didn't hear no bell. Huh?
Yeah. All right, he'll knock you into the rock.
I don't care what you's ranked. You gets no shot.
Oh, man. Hold on, show. I'm just go with this. That was my favorite one, man. Rocky 3 was my favorite one.
Listen.
I'm not. It wasn't the best, but it was my favorite.
Exactly. You listen, man. That film right there, and the lines of dialogue and quotes all in there,
Hey, man.
dude. Come on, I don't sweat you. Come on, I don't sweat you. You know, it's like,
hey, woman. I will stop, Stormy, because I'm about to cry and drive off the road, man.
Listen, man, that movie right there is a milestone. I'll tell you, bro. That was something else, man.
Yeah, Mr. T, he's from your city, man. He's from your city.
Hey, don't give him no statue. Give him guts.
I'm crying, man. I wish I could take a picture, man. I'm crying. I'm gonna get off the phone because I'm crying, man.
Hey, 1 second before you go. 1 second before you go. When Oscar Valdez tested positive, you know, and he tried to blame it on some tea or whatever, right? The WBC let him go ahead with that fight and everything. And then after he fought, he really didn't win the fight, but they gave him the decision, right? And then we found out that next week after the fight, they gave him a statue ceremony in his hometown. So that's why they let the whole thing go through, because the dude had a statue ceremony coming up after the fight. So the first thing I thought about after they gave him the statue that next week, I thought about Mr. T from Rocky 3 when he said, don't give him no statue, give him guts. Dude, that was the most perfect. It went right along with what Mr. T was saying in Rocky 3. But that flew over everybody's head, bro. It flew over everybody's head.
Yeah. One more thing, Stormy B. I was thinking, man, I'm going to say we, speaking Black people, and people laugh about this. How could we come up with our own belt? If Floyd's got money. I'm not going to put it all on Floyd. Other boxers got money. Retired boxers got money. What's wrong with us coming up with our own belt?
I don't see nothing wrong with it. But the problem is this. We got too many of those people, and I said this a moment ago, that are comfortable being victimized.
Yeah.
That's just a cleaner way of saying, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
My taps ain't too tight, boss. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel sorry for Haney, man. Yeah, man. Golly. That dude's making up the rules as he go, man.
And that's why I said,
he's not apologizing and looking straight in the camera and laughing.
That's why I said that I will talk about Haney, the fighter he is, who he's going to fight, give critiques of that and everything, but you're not going to hear me talk about that organization anymore. There was not a more fine representative of carrying that belt than Deontay Wilder. And what they did to that man, I will never forgive or forget. And I'll always have disdain for them. And I hope that they all perish in hell. Because it's a concerted effort from multiple sources that they do what they do, and I see it for what it is. So Haney and any of our fighters that may hold one of those titles, including Earl, learn how not to hold on to hot coals. That's all I'm going to say.
Man, we're gonna we need our own belt, man. We need our own belt. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna let you do your thing, man.
All right, man. Thanks again for calling, and happy holidays once again, and happy new year to you and your family, bro.
Man, love the show. And don't forget, invite somebody next week, man. We're gonna get them numbers up, man. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right. All right, peace.
Peace to you, bro.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Great call, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But yeah, man, I'm going to get ready to get on up out of here. Everybody, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and have a great New Year's celebration coming up. But we'll be back again next Sunday and pick things up from there, because it's been great, man. It's been a great year of boxing. The way it ended up, the way the year finished out very strong. And I'm proud of that more than anything. You know what I mean? So it's one of the things that we can hang our hat and say, hey, we did it. You know what I mean? So just let you guys know that I'll be back. We'll talk about these things some more. And that's what it's all about, man. It's what it's all about. I hope that everybody that catch the show on replay, I know Junior shared the stream. Any of you who are out there right now, you can share it as well. Let people know what Stormy is doing over here, man, because we're trying to do some great things for you. And it's no cost to, show that support. So just remember that. So we're going to get on up out of here. Catch you guys next Sunday. All right? Peace to everybody.